Tonight, terror on the rails. Hundreds are killed and injured in a string of train bombings in India, all the hallmarks of Al-Qaeda. The war on terror meets the war on drugs. The U.S. fight to shut down the business that funds terror. So why is that business still booming? Cancer crisis. The breakthrough treatments breaking budgets, fighting cancer and going broke. We'll take a closer look. And marriage proposal. Meet the couples that are cashing in on their big day by turning to advertisers.
From ABC News, this is World News Tonight with Charles Gibson. Reporting tonight, Kate Snow.
Good evening. Terrorists unleashed a devastating and highly coordinated attack today in one of the largest cities in the world. In the space of about 11 minutes, 7 bombs ripped through trains during the evening rush hour in the Indian city of Mumbai. At least 147 people were killed in those attacks, more than 400 injured. Mumbai, formerly known as Bombay, is the financial capital of India, a nation of more than 1 billion people. ABC's Brian Ross has more now on the explosions and who might be behind them.
It was a wave of attacks. The 7 bombs exploding over a period of 11 minutes during the evening rush hour. There was a loud bang, this witness said. Then people started getting pushed. They started falling down, and then I saw dead bodies falling down. Heavy monsoon rains hampered rescue efforts, and there are reports tonight some victims remain trapped inside the bombed-out railway cars. Police say the bombs all appear to have been placed in the first-class compartments of suburban trains on Mumbai's Western Rail line. The first bomb went off at 6:24 p.m. on a crowded train near the car station, and then another and another every few minutes along the same line. By 6:35, the last bomb had gone off at the Borivali rail station. Much the same pattern seen in London and Madrid.
It was coordinated, multiple, synchronized, mass casualty atrocities. These are often the hallmarks of a powerful transnational group, not necessarily Al-Qaeda central, but a group affiliated to the ideology and ideas of Osama bin Laden.
There have been no claims of responsibility, but bin Laden has called for attacks on India at least 6 times since 2001, aligning himself with militant Islamic groups that seek independence for the disputed Kashmir region.
These groups will give India no quarter, and they are prepared to go to any lengths and resort to any form of terror to try and induce the Indian state to give up its control over the portion of Kashmir that it controls.
As one of the world's largest cities, Mumbai is an easy target. Its trains normally overflowing during the evening rush hour. It is the financial center of the country's thriving economy, the New York City of India, and also the home of India's famed Bollywood film industry.
So it's seen as a very important city, especially in the eyes of the terrorists, to target.
As the search continued into the night for more victims, all of India's major cities were put on a state of high alert as rumors of more attacks quickly spread. It may just be a coincidence, but investigators are not dismissing the fact that this attack came on July 11th. The Madrid attack was on 3/11, and the New York attacks, of course, were on 9/11. Terror targets and their target dates are often chosen for their symbolism, Kate.
And Brian, given these attacks today, are other cities around the globe on alert now?
They are in Europe and in this country. New York City and its transit police went on a higher state of alert, searching backpacks on the subway. This attack in India was a reminder, if any was needed, that mass transit systems in big cities are a very soft and vulnerable target.
Chief Investigative Correspondent Brian Ross, thank you. There are new rules in the U.S. war on terror tonight. A Pentagon memo released today says for the first time, all detainees in military custody are entitled to some protections under the Geneva Conventions. Among other things, any outrages upon personal dignity, in particular humiliating and degrading treatment, are prohibited. This is part of a response to that recent Supreme Court decision that found the Bush administration could not try Guantanamo Bay detainees in special military tribunals. Nightline anchor Terry Moran has been following this story very closely, recently returned from a trip to Guantanamo Bay, and he joins us from Washington. Good evening, Terry.
Hello, Kate.
What is the significance of this Pentagon memo? Is this a major change?
Well, it's more, as you say, it's an acknowledgement of the obvious. The Pentagon here acknowledging that the Supreme Court repudiated the Bush administration policy that somehow the struggle against al-Qaeda fell entirely outside of the protection of the Geneva Convention. But it's more than that. This memo is also a directive. It is a stern directive to combatant commanders around the world to make sure their practices and policies adhere to the Geneva Conventions. And that's because now any violation of the Geneva Conventions by American personnel is a crime, a federal crime, prosecutable in the United States.
And so what does that mean specifically in terms of, say, interrogations? As a practical matter, tomorrow, will the interrogations be done differently than they were today?
Well, the Pentagon says that all interrogations now that they are conducting are under the McCain Amendment in accord with the Geneva Conventions. But there are some lawyers who are taking a close look at this and saying that that notion that you can't personally degrade or humiliate a detainee, certainly that was done at Guantanamo Bay in the past, but is isolation or something like that, does that amount to it? And the CIA is holding a lot of prisoners. They had no comment today.
New questions tonight. Terry Moran, thank you. And now to Iraq, where a surge of killings is raising fears again of civil war. Scores of people died today in more than a dozen attacks across the country. The government summoned the defense and interior ministers to explain why the security plan for the capital is simply not working. ABC's Terry McCarthy is in Baghdad.
No warnings, no mercy, and no let-ups in the terror. In this attack, 2 men blew up their car and then blew themselves up seconds later. More than 30 people were killed today in Baghdad.
We clearly had thought that the level of violence would be further down than it is today.
It is now a month since the death of the al-Qaeda leader Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, since the visit of President Bush to trumpet national reconciliation, and since the deployment of 50,000 Iraqi troops to bring security to Baghdad. But in June, nearly 1,600 bodies were brought to the Baghdad morgue, 220 more than the previous month. Insurgents are also waging the propaganda war. They released gruesome footage of 2 American soldiers they say were killed and mutilated, quote, as retaliation for our sister who was defiled by soldiers from the same unit. A clear reference to the US troops charged in the rape and killing of a teenage girl and 3 relatives in Mahmoudiya.
They do not need to kill lots of American soldiers. They need to kill and defeat a few American soldiers and send the pictures of that all over the world.
Tonight, one prominent Iraqi politician accused the United States of being unable to protect Iraqi citizens and called for the introduction of United Nations troops, while another said the country was sliding fast towards civil war. Kate?
Terry McCarthy in Baghdad, thank you. Now to our series on the other war in Afghanistan. Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld was there today, an unannounced visit to show support for President Hamid Karzai. Rumsfeld said Afghanistan's drug trade is a major concern. Quote, the level of drug production is going up, he said. Tonight, ABC's senior foreign correspondent Jim Sciutto on why fighting the drug trade has become so important and why it's proving so difficult.
In these arid Afghan fields, the war on drugs meets the war on terror. These poppy plants are the source of 90% of the world's heroin, and an estimated tens of millions of dollars a year for Taliban fighters. Traveling to the poppy-growing east, we found plenty of farmers doing the Taliban's work.
The Taliban uses money from poppies to become stronger. How do they feel about that?
Everyone works for his own benefit, he answered. Acre by acre, the Afghan government is trying to fight back. Supervised by American security contractors, poppy fields are being destroyed. For the poorest farmers, it is a painful step. He cried, "Why don't you just kill me?"
These fields used to be full of poppies. Now it's rice. The immense problem for the farmers, though, is that poppies made them a profit of $4,000 an acre. With rice, they say they lose money.
The U.S. and other foreign donors are trying to give farmers new ways to support themselves, turning poppy farmers into road builders and carpenters. Starting as young as 13-year-old Mustafa. The cost to the U.S. government, more than $25 million a month. But the U.S. is losing this war on drugs Production has actually risen 27% in the last 5 years. It is now a $2.7 billion business in an extremely poor country. Many here say the solution will come only with long-term rebuilding of an economy destroyed by decades of war. Before we left the poppy fields, we had a question for the farmers.
Raise your hand if you're going to be growing poppies again next season.
Everyone raised his hand. We have no choice, one of them said. We have to eat. Jim Shudo, ABC News, Jalalabad, Afghanistan.
And still ahead, the soaring cost of cancer drugs, forcing some patients to forego treatment. We'll take a closer look. Americans spending every penny they have and more. What will happen when they reach retirement? It's our series, The Money Trap. And a new way to walk down the aisle, using corporate sponsors to pay for that dream wedding.
This is World News Tonight, brought to you by Nexium.
My kids call me the finisher. Finish up in there.
Okay.
Finish your homework?
Yes.
Finish your vegetables. Something I thought I was finished with? Managing my acid reflux disease. I thought it was just bad heartburn, but my doctor said over time, stomach acid was damaging the lining of my esophagus. She prescribed Nexium. Said I needed more than heartburn relief. My esophagus needed repair. One prescription Nexium pill a day not only relieves my heartburn, it healed erosions in my esophagus. So I don't just feel better, I am better. And with the Purple Plus program, I get advice on nutrition, exercise, even ways to save on Nexium. My doctor did say headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain could be side effects of Nexium, and other serious stomach conditions may still exist.
Talk to your doctor about the healing Purple Pill.
I tell him you shouldn't do anything halfway. Let's finish up.
If you're without prescription coverage and can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Catch that!
No sweat! When you sweat, mosquitoes just can't resist you. But Off Active is sweat resistant. It gives you proven off protection when you sweat. Protection against mosquitoes that may carry the West Nile virus. Sweat-resistant Off Active keeps bugs off, even when you sweat. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
Part of you wants to learn about menopause. Part of you has no time for research. Visit KnowMenopause.com because part of you wants to understand the hot flashes and moodiness. All of you wants to know more. Check out KnowMenopause.com.
You've won $1 million in the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes.
You've won.
No. Yes.
Would you like to be a Publishers Clearinghouse winner tomorrow?
Oh.
Now you can, because there's a new winner every day.
I never knew it'd come true.
You could even win $1 million before the summer's over.
God answered my prayers.
Go to PCH.com. Enter today, win tomorrow.
And I think you're wasting your time on the computer.
Or watch your mail and enter at once.
I thought it was a gimmick, but it ain't.
This is the summer for you to win.
Red eye's making a bad impression. There's a Visine for that. Visine Advanced Relief soothes, refreshes, and cools with its 3 moisturizer formula. Red irritated eyes, there's a Visine for that.
We're going to take a closer look at the growing number of cancer patients forced to make truly agonizing decisions because of the skyrocketing cost of cancer drugs. Often the treatments that hold the most promise are the ones most out of reach. The price for new cancer drugs grew 22% last year, compared with 3% growth for all prescription medications. And as the cost keeps spiraling, so does the number of cancer patients, even with insurance, who cannot afford the treatment they desperately need. Here's ABC's John McKenzie.
They are the newest weapons in the fight against cancer. So-called targeted therapies, drugs that attack cancer cells without many of the side effects of traditional chemotherapy. They are also among the most expensive drugs on the market.
Simply struggling with the co-payments can become a burden very quickly, particularly when you're on these treatments for long periods of time.
A year's supply of Tarceva for lung cancer costs $32,000. Herceptin for breast cancer, $36,000. Erbitux for colon cancer, $120,000. 66-year-old Jim Butel, who has liver cancer, just learned his out-of-pocket copayment will be more than $12,000 a year.
I had no idea that the cost would be this high on this particular drug.
Butel will pay, but some patients cannot.
I have patients who have, after considering the financial implications of their therapy, have opted not to receive therapy.
In other words, not getting the latest life-prolonging medications. This one vial costs $900, and a colon cancer patient can go through about 20 of them every month. Expenses that affect all Americans, because taxpayers pay for most cancer treatments through Medicare. Drug companies defend their prices, saying they are necessary to support the high research and development costs of cancer drugs.
The kinds of clinical trials that we're running and the type of approach we're taking is risky and time-consuming, and it takes hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's hyperbole. Their R&D budgets may be high, but they're not that high.
For patients dealing with the stress and strain of a life-threatening illness, more and more are now also forced to confront the anxiety of mounting bills and debt from their cancer treatment. John McKenzie, ABC News, New York.
When we come back, future shock. Americans with no savings racing toward retirement, caught in the money trap.
I feel these tingling sensations deep inside my legs.
It's a tightening feeling that keeps me from getting to sleep.
For me, it's creepy crawling. I feel like I have to get up and move just to get some relief.
My doctor said it's restless leg syndrome, or RLS. He prescribed Requip, the only RLS medication approved by the FDA. He said Requip would help relieve my RLS symptoms, even the uncontrollable leg movements that disturb my sleep. Requip helped me make peace with my legs.
Requip may cause you to fall asleep or feel very sleepy during normal activities such as driving, or to faint or feel dizzy when you stand up. Tell your doctor if you experience these problems, or if you drink alcohol or are taking medicines that make you drowsy. Side effects include nausea, drowsiness, vomiting, and dizziness. Most patients were not bothered enough to stop taking Requip. Ask your doctor if Requip can help put your RLS to rest.
To increase skin's radiance, dermatologists recognize Aveeno Positively Radiant Moisturizers. The soy complex is clinically proven to improve the key elements of radiance, including fine lines, sunspots, and blotchiness.
Can your moisturizer do that?
Aveeno Positively Radiant.
The latest look in fiber is showing up everywhere. All-natural Benefiber, the first fiber supplement that's tasteless and dissolves completely, so you can put it in whatever foods you fancy, even water. Benefiber, the latest look in fiber.
Isn't there a meter that lets me test my blood sugar and be on my way?
With no coding and a small sample size, the Contour meter from Bayer means testing will fit into your life instead of interrupting it.
Don't I have enough to think about?
Easy accuracy. Answered by Bayer.
Are aches and pains keeping you up? Now there's a new PM that has you covered. Introducing Advil PM, the multi-pain relieving power of Advil plus a non-habit-forming sleep aid. New Advil PM. Stop hurting and start sleeping.
Taste of the original ranch. Things seem a little more like the way they're supposed to be. Hidden Valley Ranch, the way ranch is supposed to taste. And new Italian ranch, ranch with an Italian accent.
Tomorrow, World News Tonight takes you to the depths of the sea in search of the next wonder drug.
It would be a really great way to treat cancer.
Can cures for these diseases be found down here? Don't miss this amazing underwater adventure, only on World News Tonight.
There's encouraging news about the federal budget tonight. The Bush administration said this year's deficit will be $296 billion, much smaller than the $423 billion shortfall it forecast 6 months ago. President Bush said the improvement is the result of strong economic growth, which led to an unexpected surge in tax payments by corporations and wealthy Americans. But average Americans are having increasing trouble living within their means. Last year, Americans spent $42 billion more than they earned. With the baby boom generation approaching retirement, analysts say the savings rate should be rising, not falling. Tonight in our series, The Money Trap, the consequences of this growing mountain of personal debt. Here's ABC's Betsy Stark.
Cindy Taylor has a good job and a nice house, but she also has 3 grown children and a grandchild who live with her, a mortgage, $15,000 in credit card debt, and at age 44, virtually no savings.
I know that if I don't do something drastically to change now with my finances, you know, what's going to happen when I approach retirement? I won't be retiring.
The Center for Retirement Research now estimates that 43% of American households won't have enough money to maintain their standard of living in retirement. For low-income Americans, that will mean not being able to cover the cost of necessities, such as food and shelter.
For middle-income people, it means that they'll have to pinch pennies and really be worried once they stop working.
If they ever can stop working. Experts say it's hard to imagine how baby boomers will be able to stop at the current retirement age of 62, when just 20% of Americans are still eligible for a company pension, 25% have never enrolled in their 401k plan, and of those who do, 45% cash them out when they change jobs, despite big penalties.
We're on a very reckless course.
Robert Bixby of the Concord Coalition says saving less when Americans are living longer is a recipe for trouble. And anyone counting on the government to save the day is making a dangerous bet.
Ultimately, if we don't do anything, Americans are going to face much higher taxes to finance the promises that we're making, or sudden benefit cuts for future generations for things like Medicare and Social Security.
Cindy Taylor knows she needs to start saving before it's too late.
I need to save. I need to pay down my debt. I need to invest. I really can't even begin to understand how to do that.
Many Americans like Cindy Taylor lack not only the cash but the know-how to save for their futures, which is why a growing number of retirement analysts say the key to improving the savings rate is to take it out of the hands of workers, make enrollment in 401ks automatic, and make contributions from their paychecks automatic too. Make it easier for people to do the right thing by themselves.
Makes sense. Betsy, thank you. And response last night to your piece was so great. So many of you contacted us for help with getting out of debt. We have posted answers to your questions on our website and expert advice on everything from student loans to credit card bills. That's all at abcnews.com. Up next, love for sale. The brides and grooms who are getting businesses to foot the bill on their big day.
Dr. Robert Jarvik, inventor of the artificial heart.
The average heart beats 2 billion times. The heart is amazing, but high cholesterol can lead to heart disease. Lipitor can help. When diet and exercise aren't enough, adding Lipitor significantly lowers bad cholesterol.
39 to 60%.
If you have several common risk factors for heart disease, Lipitor is clinically proven to reduce your risk of heart attack. And more cardiologists surveyed said they'd prescribe Lipitor for their own families than any other cholesterol-lowering brand. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. You need simple blood tests to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor if you are taking other medications or if you have any muscle pain or weakness. They may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Lipitor is one of many treatment options to consider with your doctor. It's your heart. Ask if Lipitor is right for you.
Visit Lipitor.com for a free trial.
This is fantastic. Are you sure?
Would you like to be a Publishers Clearinghouse winner tomorrow? You can if you go to PCH.com right now.
I am flabbergasted.
Enter today, win tomorrow.
Yeah, girl, they're here.
This summer, you could be a millionaire.
The human body was designed to move. Serenity gently hugs your body for a closer fit than the leading protective underwear. Serenity Discreet Activewear. You move, they move. You're protected. Serenity from Tena.
Some people think if you have a really bad headache, you should take extra medicine. Problem is, that's not going to get rid of your headache faster. And taking too much of any medication, no matter how safe it is, can cause serious problems. Your health is important to us. So if you're not going to take the recommended dose of our medicine, I'd rather you just didn't take it. And if that means selling less Tylenol, that's fine with me.
Hey, you feel like going out? I'm bloated.
irregular.
Probably stress from exams. Look how it makes us eat.
So how come you're okay?
I eat Activia every day.
Introducing smooth, delicious Dannon Activia. With the natural culture Bifidus regularis, it's clinically proven to help naturally regulate your digestive system in 2 weeks.
It's good. I feel great.
Help naturally regulate your digestive system in 2 weeks.
Now let's get out of here.
Thursday, the limits of competition have never been stretched like this. Figure skating, toilet paper, BMX ballet, weird science combat. Master of Champions. All new Thursday, 8, 7 Central, only on ABC.
Tonight, a welcome face returns to Nightline, Ted Koppel. Right in the midst of reporting from Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, Ted Koppel sits down with Terry Moran, his first interview on Nightline since leaving Nightline. Ted Koppel, Terry Moran. Don't miss this Nightline exclusive tonight.
Finally tonight in this season of summer weddings, the couples turning their trip down the aisle into a financial proposition, with the average cost of a wedding now $28,000. More enterprising brides and grooms are handling the sticker shock by sponsoring their celebrations. ABC's David Muir on the new way to kick off happily ever after.
This wedding story begins at home plate, right where newlyweds Dave and Carrie Kirpin wanted it to. In front of thousands of baseball fans, 500 of whom were their guests, the Kirpins pulled off a major league ceremony at a minor league price.
We came up with a way to have our dream wedding and not spend $100,000.
Instead, it cost just $20,000. The couple who work in sales found sponsors for their wedding, trading merchandise for publicity. The dress, check. The rings, check. The flowers, 1-800-Flowers.
And it was attractive due to the fact that there were 7,000 people there.
And the stadium, they went straight to the park's manager.
Here we are just kind of pitching this crazy idea. We want to get married, and we want to not just get married at a game, but turn the entire game into a big promotion. And he loved it. He said to us, let's do bobbleheads.
Bobbleheads? Indeed. The whole idea might have your head spinning, but it's growing in popularity. First championed by the controversial TV host Star Jones, couples across the country are now bartering their big day.
This is the absolute dress that I dreamed of.
And this Akron, Ohio newlywed didn't pay a dime for it. And by the time Christina Crozier walked down the aisle, her $30,000 wedding cost just $5,000.
These couples will tell you it's a way of having the wedding of their dreams. But etiquette experts argue a blessed event is now being turned into a business deal.
You should either cut your guest list and have a smaller wedding, or have it be something that is very low-key, relaxed, and, you know, have hamburgers and hot dogs before you have a sponsored wedding.
The Kirpins say that idea is fine. It's just not for them.
Go for it.
Right. We
Cross
don't
off
judge
Cousin John if you don't want Cousin John to come.
Cousin
That's
John,
fine.
bye. We're done.
We're inviting Cousin John. That's
right.
it.
We want Cousin John to bring a date.
And he did, along with 500 other guests, making for a day and a deal they'll forever remember. David Muir, ABC News, New York.
Bobbleheads? That is World News Tonight for this Tuesday. I'm Kate Snow. For all of us at ABC News, have a good evening. Good night.
Tonight, an American man dreams up a new life for himself, duping his wife and children into believing he's a British lord. But how long will his double life stay secret? Tonight, Tracking the American Imposter, a 2-hour primetime special at 9, 8 Central.
See it, shoot it, send it. When you capture breaking news on your camera or cell phone, email it to Eyewitness News at video@myabc7.com.
We use the banker's pen to help create our WAMU free checking account. Here, watch. Should we let people send free outgoing wire transfers around the world? El smarto nato. And what about not charging to take money out of any ATM? Bring them in. It's okay. Calm down, calm down. When in doubt, give them yachts.
Now open your new account instantly at WAMU.com. The WAMU way.
San Manuel is giving away $1 million during its humongous $1 Million Bingo Weekend, July 22nd and 23rd. San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino, 20 years, $2 billion in payouts. I-10 to Junction 30, exit Highland.
From July 1st to the 20th, San Manuel is giving away $10,000 a day for 20 days. $200,000 in all. San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino. 20 years, $2 billion in payouts. I-10 to Junction